Hey there, welcome back to Cinematic Memory. Today we are continuing the recap of Haikyuu Season 2. Previously, Karasuno High attends a grueling summer training camp in Tokyo, with powerhouse schools like Nekoma and Fukurodani, where they quickly realize their current skills aren't enough to compete at the national level. After intense specialized training, the team reunites to debut their upgraded synchronized attacks. Armed with their newly evolved arsenal, a much stronger Karasuno confidently enters and conquers the first round of the Spring High Preliminary qualifiers. At Tsukishima's house, his older brother and mom are talking about how he doesn't want his brother to come watch his matches. When Tsukishima gets home, his brother asks how the game went. He just says they won. When asked about the opponent, he casually says the guy was 2 meters tall, which surprises his brother. Tsukishima explains that even though the player was inexperienced, they still couldn't stop him. His brother asks if he already thinks he'll lose, and Tsukishima basically agrees. Then his brother invites him to come practice with his team. At Karasuno, practice is starting and everyone is doing their own drills. Hinata and Nishinoya are running around excited as usual. Yachi sees someone suspicious, but realizes it's just Kageyama trying and failing to disguise himself. He says he's going to check out another team they might face. Instead of recording, he explains that it's better to watch them in person. Later, Kageyama shows up at Aoba Johsai trying to act normal, but everyone notices him anyway. He watches their practice match quietly. Back at Karasuno, Hinata asks Tsukishima if he can stop Ushijima's spikes. Tsukishima says no and doesn't seem interested. Hinata insists they need to beat strong players like that. Tsukishima gets annoyed and says Hinata is irritating, especially when he talks like that. After a weird exchange, Tsukishima leaves. When Kageyama comes back, he tells Hinata how impressed he is by Oikawa. He explains how Oikawa can bring out the best in any teammate, even if they just met. Hinata gets annoyed and asks if he's scared again, but Kageyama says he's actually excited. He says they'll beat them as a team. Meanwhile, Tsukishima goes to practice with his brother and plays against adults. He realizes their power is on another level. After thinking about everything people said to him, he starts getting more serious. The next day, he asks Coach Ukai how to stop stronger and taller players. Ukai tells him that timing matters more than height. He also suggests learning from Kuru, who is really good at blocking. At training camp, Tsukishima watches carefully and starts learning proper timing. He joins games with other teams and slowly improves. Meanwhile, Karasuno keeps practicing, especially Hinata and Kageyama's quick attack, which is still inconsistent but getting better. As time passes, everyone improves. By October, they're doing much better. Tsukishima even starts blocking stronger spikes successfully. Finally, they arrive at the tournament venue. Hinata gets hyped but runs into players from other teams, including some strong and intimidating ones. He boldly says Karasuno will win, even though it clearly makes him nervous. Inside the gym, they notice Josenji, a team known for being wild and energetic, getting fired up for their match. Daichi tells the coaches that Karasuno will serve first since Josenji chose to receive. The coaches notice some players, especially the third years, look a bit more nervous than usual. Hinata compliments Tsukishima's new sports glasses, but Tsukishima doesn't like it since it makes him feel less cool. He remembers his brother giving them to him and saying he won't have to block with his face anymore. Tsukishima wasn't convinced. The match starts with Asahi serving. Josenji barely keeps the ball in, but then Terushima pulls off a crazy jump and spikes from the back, scoring the first point. Karasuno is surprised by how unpredictable they are. Josenji then makes a mistake on serve, but they don't seem bothered and keep joking around. Their energy is loud enough that the referee warns them. Tsukishima serves, and Josenji runs a normal play this time. Soon after, a lucky net serve causes chaos, but Hinata saves the ball in an impressive way, even jumping off the wall to keep it in play. Nishinoya finishes the rally with a clean point. In the stands, players from Date Tech notice Karasuno hasn't used their quick attack yet. When they finally do, Hinata and Kageyama pull it off nicely, showing their improvement. Daichi reminds everyone to stay calm despite Josenji's wild style. As the game goes on, it's clear Josenji doesn't rely much on teamwork, they just attack whenever they can. They even crash into each other at one point. Tsukishima tries to read their plays, but gets caught off guard by something unexpected, and Josenji ties the score. Hinata and Yamaguchi realize Josenji's main strength is just having fun. During another play, Kageyama blocks a spike, but takes the ball straight to the face and gets a nosebleed. He has to leave temporarily and Sugawara steps in. Hinata says he'll handle things while Kageyama is gone. Karasuno switches things up, even subbing Hinata out for a bit. From the bench, Hinata gets restless and wants to go back in immediately. Back on court, Narita scores, and Terushima responds with a strong serve. Tanaka gets annoyed at his attitude, but Daichi quickly tells everyone to stay focused. Kageyama returns and teases Hinata about his earlier confidence. Soon after, Karasuno uses a synchronized attack and reaches set point. Josenji tries to copy it, but they mess up badly and lose the set. When the next set starts, Hinata and Kageyama rush and mess up once, but quickly recover and land a clean, quick attack. Daichi tells them it's fine and says he'll keep things steady while they play freely. Karasuno starts pulling ahead as Josenji gets frustrated and sloppy. After a timeout, Josenji tries to reset mentally. Their manager finally snaps and loudly calls out their weakness, telling them to stop relying only on fun and start thinking properly. This shocks everyone, but it also gets through to the team. As the game is about to continue, Hinata notices that Josenji's attitude has started to change. The second set continues with Josenji scoring first using a smart feint that Daichi almost saves. In the next play, Futamata looks like he's going to spike, so Kageyama jumps to block, but he suddenly turns it into a set for Terushima, who scores. Even Josenji didn't expect that move. Karasuno notices that Josenji is now thinking more instead of just playing randomly. Tsukishima gets a clean block by focusing on timing, and feels satisfied when the coach has no complaints. When he serves, Josenji comes up with a plan for Hinata. Instead of blocking his quick attack, they all focus on receiving it. It works. They stop the attack and score. Terushima is happy his idea worked. Hinata gets annoyed at being ignored and tells Kageyama he has a plan. Next time, he aims for an open spot and scores. Josenji adjusts again and manages to return it, then score on the counter. Daichi realizes what they're doing and reminds Hinata he still hasn't used his new move. On the next play, everyone expects another quick, but Hinata does a soft feint instead and scores. Karasuno reaches match point. Josenji tries another synchronized attack, but Terushima's final spike goes out. Karasuno wins the match. Terushima is frustrated since he was just starting to enjoy the game. Their coach thanks the manager for helping the team stay together, and the players thank her before she leaves. Outside, Karasuno celebrates. Hinata meets Aone again, and they both promise to beat each other if they play next. Soon after, Hinata and Kageyama rush to see their next opponent, which turns out to be Wakutani Minami. Back at Karasuno, the coach warns them that Wakutani is a tough, calm team with strong defense. He tells them not to get frustrated if their attacks don't work right away. Daichi reassures everyone that they'll support each other. The next day, both teams get ready. Wakutani's captain has his family cheering loudly, which catches Hinata's attention. When the match starts, Karasuno quickly scores with their fast attack, but Wakutani stays calm and ready. It becomes clear that Wakutani studied Hinata beforehand. They use multiple attackers to confuse him, and he struggles to react at first. Kageyama tells him to focus on the ball instead of everything else. Wakutani's captain shows smart play by hitting the ball off blockers' hands to score. The coach notes his style is similar to the small giant, using angles instead of power. The game turns into a back and forth. Wakutani focuses their defense on Hinata, so Karasuno relies more on teamwork, especially Asahi, to score. In one long rally, Daichi chases a difficult ball and manages to save it. The ball barely goes over the net and wins the point. But right after that, Daichi collides with Tanaka and suddenly collapses, leaving everyone shocked. At Josenji, Terushima thinks about how they could still be playing if they had won. His teammates try to blame Hinata and Kageyama, but he says it was probably Daichi who made the difference, since he held the team together. Back at the match, Daichi is still unconscious after the collision. People in the stands realize he ran into Tanaka while saving the ball. After a few seconds, Daichi wakes up. The coaches quickly check on him, asking basic questions to make sure he's okay. Even though he says he's fine, they send him to the infirmary just in case. As he gets up, it's clear he's hurt, he's bleeding, and he even spits out a tooth, which shocks everyone. Before leaving, Daichi apologizes to Tanaka, saying he couldn't stop himself in time. He also praises Tanaka for the earlier save. Then he leaves the team in Asahi's hands. Now Karasuno needs someone to step in, and Enoshita is chosen. He tries to calm himself, but he's clearly nervous about replacing Daichi. Still, once he's on court, the team treats him like a leader right away, asking for instructions and trusting him. On the bench, everyone agrees Enoshita is actually a good fit for leadership. He's steady, gets along with everyone, and can keep the second years in check. The game resumes, but Enoshita struggles at first. He misses a receive and feels the pressure. Even so, he reminds himself not to run away from the situation. There's a short flashback showing how the second years once talked about future captains. Back then, Enoshita didn't think he could do it, especially since he had quit the team for a while due to tough training. He later came back, realizing how much volleyball meant to him. That experience still affects him, but it also makes him stronger. Back in the present, Enoshita starts doing better. He successfully receives a serve, leading to a strong spike from Asahi. He promises himself he won't back down again. Asahi keeps the momentum going with a service ace, but Wakutani responds with smart plays. The match stays close. Then there's a surprise substitution. Yamaguchi comes in to serve. He's nervous and Tsukishima even points it out. Enoshita notices too and tries to calm him down in a subtle way. Yamaguchi goes for his serve but messes up the toss. It barely makes it over the net, but it still scores, which boosts his confidence. On the next serve though, he plays it safe instead of using his usual jump float. When Wakutani attacks, Yamaguchi freezes and can't react. Enoshita jumps in to save it, and the play continues. Kageyama sets to Asahi, who scores and wins the set. Afterward, the coach returns and looks upset, but Enoshita steps in to defend Yamaguchi, saying he already knows his mistake. The coaches confirm Daichi is okay, though still hurt. The match continues, and with the score at 18-14, Enoshita is still nervous but holding things together. The match between Seijo and Date Tech is about to start, and their captains greet each other. Meanwhile, Karasuno is still playing, and things aren't going well. Enoshita misses a few plays, including a spike that goes out, and Wakutani takes the set. Before the final set, everyone tries to cheer Enoshita up, but he keeps telling himself to act like Daichi. Hinata asks the coach if Wakutani's captain plays like the small giant, and the coach says yes. That annoys Hinata a bit, but Kageyama tells him not to compete directly and focus on what he can do instead. The last set starts and Wakutani scores early. Hinata struggles a bit, missing a shot, while Wakutani's captain keeps using smart plays like hitting off blockers' hands. Hinata chases one ball all the way near the coaches, saves it, and then scores with a quick attack, even crashing into Kageyama after. They argue for a second, then move on. Enoshita keeps blaming himself for mistakes, but Tanaka tells him to stop trying to copy Daichi and just play his own way. That helps him relax a bit. Later, Enoshita comes up with a plan. Since Wakutani's captain keeps aiming for blockouts, he decides to position himself to receive those balls. The team trusts him and follows the plan. Enoshita makes a great save, and Hinata follows up with a smart rebound off the blockers, surprising everyone. Now the momentum shifts. Hinata keeps moving fast and drawing attention, which opens chances for others like Tanaka to score. The coach notices that Enoshita is finally playing confidently and thinking for himself. The game stays close with both teams scoring. Wakutani's captain keeps pushing, but Karasuno starts catching up. Tsukishima passes along a message to focus more on Asahi near the end. During a synchronized attack, Kageyama surprises everyone by setting to Enoshita, who finally lands a clean spike. Karasuno reaches match point. After a few more plays, the final rally begins. Hinata goes for a quick attack, even adjusting midair with his left hand. Wakutani tries one last block out, but this time Enoshita reacts and keeps the ball alive. Kageyama sets again, and Hinata finishes it with a clean spike between the blockers. Karasuno wins the match. Later, Daichi meets the team and says he's okay. He also tells Enoshita he did a great job. Afterward, Enoshita takes a moment alone and lets out all the stress. The team then heads to watch the next match. The match between Seijo and Date Tech is already in the second set when some former Date Tech third years arrive to watch. They see their team is behind and find out Seijo won the first set. They also notice Karasuno's third years are still playing and sit down to watch. On court, Seijo runs smooth plays. When Date Tech gets the ball, their new setter Koganagawa sends a super high set. Fudakuchi isn't used to it and hits it into the net. He tells Koganagawa to adjust, but it's still rough. Koganagawa keeps making mistakes, including a set that goes way too high and even flies off toward the bench. He apologizes a lot, but his teammates tell him to focus on improving instead. From the stands, his former captain tries to defend him, saying he's still new but has a lot of potential. As the game continues, Koganagawa tries things like setter dumps, but they're too obvious and easy to stop. Seijo takes advantage and keeps scoring. Oikawa even lands a clean service ace. Still, Date Tech starts to show some promise. Koganagawa uses his height to do a jump set that hangs perfectly for Aon, who scores. Even Karasuno notices how they're turning his height into a weapon. The game gets tighter. Seijo reaches match point, but Date Tech doesn't panic. Fudakuchi keeps the team focused and scores a point to stay in the game. With the rotation, Date Tech forms a strong blocking line with Aon, Fudakuchi, and Koganegawa, making their iron wall even stronger. In the final play, Koganegawa, Aone, and Fudakuchi go up for a triple block against Iwaizumi. Instead of forcing it, Iwaizumi spots a gap and spikes right through, winning the match for Seijo. After the game, Date Tech looks disappointed, especially Koganegawa. Their former seniors meet them outside and encourage them to keep improving. Koganegawa promises he'll get better and become a reliable setter and blocker. Ion reminds him that strong opponents aren't always big players, hinting at Hinata. Meanwhile, Karasuno gets ready for their next match against Seijo. Everyone is a bit tense, remembering their last loss. Yamaguchi is especially nervous and talks to Yachi about how he messed up his serve last time. Yachi tries to help but ends up getting nervous too. Kageyama admits that Oikawa is still better at bringing out the best in his team, but Hinata pushes back, saying they'll prove otherwise. With that, Karasuno heads out, ready to face Seijo again. During warm-ups, a ball rolls between Oikawa and Kageyama. Oikawa teases him about winning their last match, and Kageyama says it won't happen again. Oikawa lets go suddenly, and jokes that only Ushijima is worth facing him. On the side, Yahaba and Kindaichi notice Karasuno's new manager and try to get her attention, but things get awkward when a ball almost hits her. Kyoko steps in and blocks it, and Tanaka quickly shuts down their attempts to talk to her. Around this time, Hinata also notices a new Seijo player, Kyotani, and wonders about him. The captains meet, wish each other luck, and the match begins. Karasuno chooses to receive. In the stands, the supporters are excited since this match decides who gets closer to nationals. The coaches remind both teams to stay calm and play their best. Oikawa admits Karasuno is strong, but says he won't let his guard down this time. His teammates joke that if he messes up his serve, he owes them ramen. The game starts with Oikawa serving. Karasuno receives well, and after a quick exchange, Nishinoya surprisingly sets the ball, allowing Asai to score with a back attack. Everyone is a bit surprised it worked, but it gives them a strong start. Both teams trade points. Tanaka scores with a strong spike, and Tsukishima gets a clean block. The pace is fast, and both sides are playing seriously. Hinata rotates in, and people in the stands expect him to use his quick attack. When he finally goes for it, he gets blocked at first, but he doesn't lose focus. After a few plays, he manages to land a successful quick, getting past the blockers and scoring. Seijo starts adjusting. They begin reading Hinata's attacks better and try to limit where he can hit. One of their players comes up with a plan to focus on certain angles, making it easier to defend against him. Even so, Karasuno keeps adapting. Hinata times a block properly and scores a point, showing they've learned from their past match. The game stays intense with both teams going back and forth. Then Oikawa serves again, this time with a super powerful serve. It's so fast that Karasuno can't even react, though it goes out. Still, it shocks everyone and shows how serious he is. As the set gets close, Seijo makes a substitution and brings in Kyotani. No one on Karasuno knows much about him. In the next play, he suddenly rushes in, knocks his teammate aside, and spikes aggressively, scoring right away. His sudden play changes the flow of the game, catching Karasuno off guard. Kyotani spikes the ball out of bounds, giving Karasuno the set win and surprising everyone. Oikawa is left speechless and doesn't know how to react. Iwaizumi scolds Kyotani with a light punch on the head, who apologizes and explains he just wanted to get involved since he hasn't played in a while. As the teams switch sides, Hinata notices Kyotani in the starting lineup. Kageyama warns him to watch out, guessing Kyotani is as fast as Kunimi. Oikawa tells Kyotani to be careful or he'll be pulled from the game, but Kyotani only listens when Iwaizumi says the same thing. Apparently, Kyotani respects Iwaizumi because he's lost to him in multiple athletic challenges. The second set starts. Asai's serve goes out, then Oikawa's. Tsukishima messes up too, but Karasuno adapts quickly. Oikawa sets to Kyotani, nicknamed Mad Dog, who surprises everyone with sharp, tricky spikes. Karasuno notices Kyotani is changing Seijo's usual rhythm and making their plays unpredictable. Kyotani keeps scoring, sometimes running into teammates or going full power instead of faking, which unnerves Karasuno a bit. Hinata realizes Kyotani could do more with feints, but the spikes are still powerful. Both teams trade points back and forth. Oikawa uses Kyotani smartly, sometimes making him a decoy. Karasuno tries to adjust, but Kyotani's unpredictability keeps things tricky. Sugawara is subbed in to serve, targeting Kiyotani to slow him down. This works a few times, giving Karasuno points. Rotations and player positions become important, with Karasuno trying to exploit weaknesses while covering Kiyotani's attacks. Despite this, Kiyotani lands some strong spikes and Karasuno struggles to read him. Timeouts are called to regroup. Karasuno's team notices that even if they lose this set, they still have a chance to take the third. Kiyotani serves again and lands a service ace, showing his full potential. Ukai realizes Kiyotani is risky but effective, and Oikawa's plan is clearly to get him fired up. Yamaguchi watches silently, hoping to get into the game next. After the last game against Wakutani, Yamaguchi had left the group and gone to Ukai, wanting to prove himself. He remembered Ukai telling him during summer training with Fukurodani how important it is to fight back after getting hit. Yamaguchi knew why he had been put into games before, but felt like he had failed. Now, he asks for another chance. Then Takeda announces a substitution. Yamaguchi comes in for Hinata. Hinata tells him to go score 10 points, and Yamaguchi is confused, realizing that would basically end the game. Tanaka encourages him to attack aggressively, Asahi tells him to stay calm, and Kageyama and Tsukishima say just get the ball over the net. Everyone cheers for him as he waits for the whistle. Yamaguchi remembers Shimada teaching him not to flinch at the whistle and to focus on the 8-second serve rule. When the whistle blows, he jumps and serves. The ball lands at the back of Seijo's court, dropping in at the last moment for a service ace. Karasuno cheers, and even a few Seijo fans get caught up in it. Tsukishima points out that Yamaguchi has been working the hardest on his serve, and Yamaguchi gets emotional realizing someone noticed. Ukai explains that a serve is the one skill a player can fully control, and Yamaguchi's next serve hits Kiyotani, who has to dodge, and the ball goes out of bounds. He gets more praise from his team. On the next rally, Yamaguchi manages to receive a spike from Iwaizumi, hiding the pain and earning encouragement from Sugawara and Hinata. Shimada remembers how determined Yamaguchi was when learning the jump float serve, wanting to keep up with the team and fight back on his own. After the timeout, Yamaguchi focuses on aiming for the top of the net and lands another serve successfully. Karasuno and Seijo are now tied. Yamaguchi continues to serve carefully, adjusting for small spins and keeping the pressure on. The team trades points back and forth, with everyone trying to stay focused. Sugawara and Kageyama coordinate clever plays, and Yamaguchi's serves help set up points for Karasuno. After a few intense rallies, Yamaguchi finishes his turn and Hinata rotates back in. Yamaguchi promises to get 10 points next time. Karasuno uses this momentum well. Daichi, Asahi, and Hanamaki all help receive and score, while Oikawa and Kiyotani keep challenging them. The teams exchange points quickly, with Kageyama, Tanaka, and Nishinoya supporting each other. Eventually, Karasuno scores the winning point after a clever set from Oikawa to Iwaizumi. As the teams switch sides, Yamaguchi is impressed by Oikawa's powerful serves, and Hinata agrees. Tanaka and Nishinoya praise Yamaguchi for his own serves, and he feels proud, even if he thinks only half were perfect. Tanaka suggests celebrating the good ones and worrying later. Daichi reflects on how both teams have always given their all in every match, from practice games to the semifinals. Now the final set is about to start, the last battle between these two determined teams. Both coaches give their teams a pep talk before the third set. Irihata tells Seijo to keep serving strong and not get discouraged if they can't stop Hinata. Just block his path and pick up the ball. The team nods, but Kiyotani stays silent. Karasuno, meanwhile, vow to push past Seijo. The game continues with both teams trading points. Kiyotani's spikes and serves are getting a bit reckless, and both coaches notice that a small mistake could be costly. The set is really close, and no one has a clear lead. Asahi's serves help Karasuno keep up, but Seijo still pulls ahead. Kiyotani tries to spike past, but Tsukishima blocks him. And Oshida notices Kiyotani is subconsciously clashing with Tanaka, and Tsukishima uses that to Karasuno's advantage. Kiyotani's frustration grows, even causing his serve to bounce off the court, leading to a timeout. A flashback shows Kiyotani practicing on his own after leaving his old club. Other players are surprised he's playing volleyball at all, and a man points out that he must really like it, maybe because of memories watching Japan's national team as a kid. Back in the game, Kiyotani spikes into the net and is told to switch out. He reluctantly leaves, showing his frustration, but the coach reminds him to calm down if he wants back in. Yahaba firmly tells Kiyotani to control himself and respect the team, explaining that every point counts for the group, not just him. Kyotani reflects on his reckless past, remembers advice from Kiyoshi about facing the team instead of running away, and starts to understand teamwork. Switched back in, Kyotani hits the ball successfully, and the team suddenly feels stronger. Oikawa trusts him with the serve, and Kyotani accepts it confidently. Sugawara wonders how Kyotani would fit on Karasuno, and Kageyama thinks Oikawa is impressive and intimidating. Ukai notes that Kyotani now really fits in with the team, making it harder for Karasuno to win. The match heats up. Hinata tries his spike, but Shimada notes that if the opponents narrow the angle, it can get red. Oikawa serves again, making Karasuno nervous. Daichi receives, but the ball goes back to Seijo. Kindaichi executes a sharp wipe successfully, and Karasuno counters with a quick set. Hinata barely gets it over the net and scores a point. Both teams are now in an all-out battle, trying to pull ahead, with Karasuno holding a slight lead. Tanaka asks Kageyama if he planned it since Hinata was so close to the net, but Kageyama just says he adjusted the toss. Oikawa watches, impressed by how both Kageyama and Hinata just throw themselves into plays without hesitation. Iwaizumi warns the team to stay careful, but Oikawa trusts that the whole team is stronger than just two players. Otsukishima serves and Watari receives. Oikawa decides not to let Karasuno repeat their last trick and sets to Iwaizumi, who spikes past Kageyama. The rally goes back and forth, with both teams scoring points. Yahaba sets to Kyotani, who surprisingly spikes with his left hand, bringing Seijo close to 20 points. Yahaba serves again, and Nishinoya receives. Hinata uses a feint shot, catching Seijo off guard and scoring. Yahaba is subbed out, telling Kyotani he's counting on him. Both teams continue long rallies, saving and returning balls until Matsukawa spikes past Hinata. With Seijo at 20 points, Daichi keeps Karasuno calm. Kyotani serves, Daichi receives, and Kageyama sets to Tanaka, who scores. Hinata is subbed out for Yamaguchi, who is encouraged to give his serve everything. Yamaguchi serves, catching Kyotani off guard, but Iwaizumi saves it. A fast, synchronized rally follows, with Asahi, Kageyama, and others spiking and saving. Yamaguchi is stopped, but praised for his effort. Both teams keep exchanging points until Oikawa lands a power serve ace, putting Seijo at match point. A timeout is called, and Ukai reminds Karasuno what they need to do. After the timeout, Sugawara serves to Iwaizumi, who receives. Kageyama and Hinata coordinate quick attacks, scoring points. Sugawara nervously serves, and Iwaizumi saves the ball. Kageyama sets to Asahi, who spikes past a double block, but Hanamaki saves. Oikawa sends the ball back to Iwaizumi from outside the court, stunning everyone. Tanaka and Asahi keep the rally going with incredible saves and spikes. In the final moments, Kyotani, Iwaizumi, and Kindaichi try to block Hinata's last spike. Seeing his chance, Hinata deflects the ball off Kindaichi's hand, and Oikawa can't save it. The ball lands, and Karasuno wins. The team celebrates, exhausted but happy, while Kageyama and Oikawa exchange a tense, respectful glance. And both teams line up to thank each other. Daichi thinks about how Oikawa seemed to read Hinata's last spike perfectly, and how close he was to saving it if the blockers hadn't changed its path. Coach Irihata talks to his team about the pain of losing, but praises them for a great game. Some players start crying, and Iwaizumi scolds himself for missing his last spike. Oikawa, Hanamaki, and Matsukawa pat him on the back, and he collects himself to join the team in thanking their supporters. Karasuno huddles together, and Hinata and Nishinoya jump in, knocking everyone down and laughing, while Tanaka and Kageyama yell at them. Unnoticed, Yahaba, Watari, and Kyotani watch, promising revenge. Kunimi finds Kindaichi and tells him the team is leaving. They run into Kageyama, and Kindaichi can't bring himself to talk, but Kunimi warns Kageyama that next time will be different. Kageyama acknowledges it and rejoins his team, where Yachi, Saiko, Shimada, and Takanoe praise their win. Tanaka feels embarrassed that his sister is his biggest fan, and Yamaguchi gets compliments on his serves. Takeda admits he was nervous seeing Hinata against a triple block, and Ukai compares it to past games. Hinata mentions he noticed Oikawa reacting to his moves during the last spike. Meanwhile, Oikawa meets Ushijima, who tells him he didn't perform at his full potential and should be cautious of Kageyama now that he's stronger. Oikawa stands by his choice of school and warns Ushijima that Kageyama is now a serious threat. Outside, Hinata and Kageyama see a poster for the final match against Shiratorizawa. Hinata says they'll show Ushijima how strong Karasuno is. On the bus ride back, Ukai and Takeda reflect on how much the team has grown. Back at school, the team is welcomed by students and staff, and they watch the sports news announcing Karasuno's win and Shiratorizawa making it to the finals. Kai goes over the final match plans, reminding the team how strong Shiratorizawa is. Hinata insists it doesn't matter, they beat Seijo so they can face anyone. Takeda says Karasuno can go further than ever, shaking off the Wingless Crow's nickname. Before leaving, Hinata and Kageyama practice quick attacks with Yachi, who admits she was nervous after their last fight, but thanks them for letting her be part of their progress. Kyoko tells them to rest, and they reluctantly agree. Hinata says he's nervous but excited to face Ushijima. Kageyama assures him they'll win, and they fist bump. The team arrives for the final match, Ushijima is waiting, and Hinata and Kageyama step forward, ready to give their all. The team heads in to face Shiratorizawa. This is where the story ends for now. If you want to watch what happens next, subscribe to our channel and press that notification bell to never miss an update from Cinematic Memory. Until then, goodbye!